So one very interesting thing that happens with revolutionary games such as Ocarina of Time is when Nintendo does not do a from the ground up remake on modern consoles, the fan community oftentimes will take this upon themselves. And in previous videos, we've looked at things like the native PC port of Ocarina of Time. And in today's video, I want to take a look at the Unreal Engine 4/5 now project that is going on from CryZENx, share my thoughts and opinions on how this project plays compared to Ocarina of Time, and have a deeper look at the best looking version of Zelda Ocarina of Time in 2022. What's up, nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. And as I mentioned, guys, today we are looking at yet another fan project for Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I personally just absolutely love to see stuff like this because, to be quite transparent, Zelda Ocarina of Time is what I would say the game that cemented me as a hardcore Zelda fan and a hardcore gamer at that, because I was the perfect age when I experienced it, and it was just one of those things that I always want to come back to this game. It has some of the heaviness nostalgia for me. I played the SNES era of gaming with 2D, and seeing it transition into 3D in such an immersive way with games like this is absolutely incredible. Now, to give you just a little bit of the menu layout here and options, you have things that you can go through and change in terms of the visuals, how it looks, nice background music. I am just playing with an Xbox 360 controller to keep it extremely simple here on the PC setup. You can play with various different controllers, and right now this is an ongoing project, so not everything in the game is unlocked. My understanding is the latest build that's available for just anyone to download is up until where you meet Zelda. Now you can basically hop into different portions of the game, and we will kick it off in Kokiri Forest and just kind of start right into things right before, I guess we're going to go into, I don't know if this is Navi's just finding me, but basically so far I've played around with it very briefly, not in the chapter select, but rather just in the linear progression of the game. And right out of the gate, you can see the love and care and time that's been put into this, because unlike the native PC port that we talked about previously on the channel, well, this is just a from the ground up creation, obviously using the inspiration from Ocarina of Time, but truly crafting this in Unreal Engine 4, and I believe Unreal Engine 5 now as well. Now, shout out to CryZENx. He has his own YouTube channel. They are the person that is actually behind this project entirely, to my understanding. I will have their channel linked in the description down below if you want to go into a deep dive rabbit hole of everything that's been showcased so far in Zelda Ocarina of Time and what's available. That is absolutely going to be the channel for more information, but I definitely want to share my thoughts and opinions on how the game plays, how it looks, and really just continue to shout out the project and hopefully, you know, have as many people as possible be turned on to it, because it is just a beautiful thing to see. And it's one of those deals that if Nintendo's not gonna, you know, go and make a AAA version of Ocarina of Time, the fans are so passionate around this game that they're gonna take it upon themselves. And so, you know, very much something that I absolutely love to see. Very interesting to play Ocarina of Time with a dual analog configuration as well. You know, similar to how you move things around in Breath of the Wild, but you don't realize that whenever you go back, when we had one analog on the N64 controller, it was not programmed for that button style. So of course, you know, times have changed. Now we pretty much have two analogs standard. But this is a, you know, really easy plug and play project. You know, you can get more information on how to get it over on CryZENx channel as well. But one that I would recommend hardcore Zelda fans to check out and just kind of appreciate. The redone soundtrack in the background, also fantastic, kind of like an orchestrated version of the original soundtrack that you know to love and enjoy. And, you know, again, really the highlights here is just the visual fidelity. It feels and plays very similar to Ocarina of Time. Of course, because it is in a different engine, you will notice slight differences in things. And this is very much a work in progress. So, you know, you're going to have the occasional, graphical glitches and things, but it's just all positive. I mean, this is so for I don't know if it's one person or a team of multiple, but I will say that the amount of how impressed I am from just kind of playing around with it for a little while. Well, I couldn't be happier with how this game looks, runs, and plays. And so again, one that I think fans should definitely check out. We will hop into a different section, so we're not just in Kokori Forest to start things off and go from there. Now, we absolutely have to highlight the Temple of Time because, my gosh, just look at it. Listen to it. Yeah, you have to kind of experience this firsthand. I mean, it's one of those almost goosebump style moments whenever you walk into Temple of Time and you see the beautiful reflections coming in from the light that you would expect to have in a temple like this. But back when, of course, this game was first unveiled and created, well, that technology in terms of light reflection, ray tracing, all that good stuff, not quite as fleshed out, if you will. So definitely like a cool recreation and a cool sight to see. And again, if you guys just want to check out like various points in the game all the way up to meeting Zelda, you can easily do so by hopping around to the what I believe will ultimately become a full playable version of Ocarina of Time. But you can right now just hop in and select different chapters and really enjoy it for what it has to offer. So, you know, this is one that I think that Nintendo absolutely should do this level of a remake one day. Does it have to have this exact almost more realistic art style? Like, yes, maybe no. Like, maybe some people will be a huge fan of this exact look. Others may want it to look slightly different. But I will say that I do think that we should see Nintendo do a AAA budget remake for Zelda Ocarina of Time. I loved the remake on the 3DS, but I honestly felt like it was more of like the wrong console generation to do it, because those games deserve, in my opinion, a home console playable version of them very easily and simply. And while I do love systems like the 3DS, I've always been more of a console player and not so much focused on handheld for long periods of time. Hence the reason why I actually like to emulate that 3DS version of the game as opposed to playing it on my 3DS XL. I will go ahead and emulate it and play it in a full screen environment. And that's kind of the best way that I perceive to be able to play Ocarina of Time right now, because I do thoroughly enjoy that remake. But I think that Nintendo should have just done it on something like the Switch, and hopefully maybe we still see them do something like this with the Switch. But if they ever kind of go above and beyond even what Grezzo did with that and bring Ocarina of Time, I mean, clearly even something like this with this kind of visual fidelity couldn't run on the Switch. But, you know, if they want to kind of, you know, go above and beyond, I feel like if done right, I mean, is it going to sell? Yeah, it's going to sell, because, you know, even just videos of Ocarina of Time, which came out in 1998, kind of crazy to say out loud, but, you know, with how beloved this game is amongst its fans, like, Nintendo can give this game to us in any form and people will absolutely eat it up. I mean, it even being a big driver for things like Nintendo Switch Online, just being able to play the N64 version. But I think it would be a best of both worlds scenario if we could get a from the ground up remake on something like Nintendo Switch. So in the meantime, though, fan projects like this are absolutely a great way to play it and experience it. And then, you know, it's going to play different than how you would expect a Nintendo developed Ocarina of Time to play, of course, because it is in a different engine and it is still a work in progress and it doesn't feel quite the same, but it's a love letter to what the game is and what it stands. You know, wow, I just walked straight up the wall there. You will again see like occasional glitches and things, just because again, this is still work in progress. I think I actually went I definitely glitched something out to where I'm now walking on air. So this is a first for me. So that's actually kind of exciting that happened on video. I mean, literally not in a negative way at all. It's actually kind of funny that I ended up being able to walk on air here. Let's see how far, if I can actually just traverse through this castle wall. Now, it looks like the walls are still blocked off, but we'll hop into the Meet Zelda portion very quickly and wrap it up after that. So I actually decided to do the Goma boss fight instead, because I realized that we were kind of all looking at the bright, more colorful aspects, and I want you guys to be able to see kind of the more dark atmosphere tone, if you will, in this project. So let's close it out with the boss fight here, and this is definitely, you know, the first boss fight of an incredible adventure, and you can kind of just already see how immersive it is, especially these extra transitional animations that kind of hype you up for the encounter that's about to unfold. And it's really just beautifully done. It kind of having that almost like intro movie part to a boss fight. And this is another thing that I realized when playing through the game. It is actually altered compared to the boss fight that you do in the base game. So another good talking point around it is that there's actually work and some creative vision put into how a boss fight should maybe be, because it doesn't play one-to-one compared to how it played in the original version of Ocarina of Time. So I thought that was a really nice touch, and definitely takes a lot of creativity to deliver something like this, and you know, kind of enhance it in its own way for the kind of engine that it is in. So you're pretty much now oh, hang on, we gotta remember which button is our slingshot. So we were pretty much just triggering Goma to go ahead and attack us, and then once that eye turns red is then when we will have our window of time to, no pun intended with Ocarina of Time, have our window of time to shoot it in the eye and then get it stunned and then do some damage. Now, one thing that I will say, just that will kind of throw you off if you're used to playing just the original game, is that 2 analog mechanic, because looking up and things through like the bottom smoke when you're trying to get like kind of like a from the top down view of things, it does feel a little bit off. But again, that's just me being somebody who is so ridiculously accustomed to Ocarina of Time and the way it plays as is and on its regular game file. So, you know, or the Nintendo version that we've been experiencing. This is just what I think it's like so crazy to have things like the fog effect on the ground, and you really kind of have to experience this yourself. I don't think it'll come through quite as well in the video, because even just having the audio so loud in my ears, which I'm sure you guys can't hear nearly as loud because of the recording and things, but having these epic encounters really do feel just that epic. And then you have, I love Navi's, the amount of light that comes off of Navi is a really cool touch. It makes it feel as if, you know, Navi's really like a legit, you know, light up fairy, which she is. So it should be, you know, I mean, it's just little touches that add into the love for Zelda Ocarina of Time. I think this is a beautiful project. Huge shout out to CryZENx. Again, their channel linked in the description down below. All the latest updates on what's playable now in terms of this project will be in there because it's an ongoing thing. So very excited to continue to keep my eyes on this and check out newer builds as they come out and get further into the game. Zora's domain footage that I've seen online, oh my gosh, cannot wait to experience that firsthand. So I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video what you think of these various Zelda Ocarina of Time fan love letter projects. Are you hopeful that one day we do see Nintendo do something like this themselves and give a true AAA modern day remake to Ocarina of Time? And what do you think the likelihood of actually seeing Nintendo do something like that is? Do you think it's in the realm of possibility or something that we may never ultimately see? And then definitely share with me too whether or not you've had a chance to check out this particular port of Zelda Ocarina of Time, or if you plan on checking it out in the future. So please share all your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around this topic. Go watch the most recent upload next on the channel if you haven't already, which will be on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.